Welcome back to the channel. It's me, your pal Sam, and sit on down because today we're talking about something a little different today. Not video games, but instead childhood shows. Specifically, some wacky, weird, kind of gross kid shows that I don't know if they should have been shown to kids. We'll get into that later, but there's some weird ones. You can tell that some of these shows were made for kids that their parents did not monitor what they were doing. Now, all of these shows are actually from either the 2000s or the early 2010s. And so, if you're looking at something more recent, you're not going to find it in this video. That's right, we're once again nostalgia baiting, something that I've gotten pretty fucking good at on this channel. So if you, like me, are pushing 30, sit on down because today we are going to be diving into that little nostalgia pool of kids shows. Now, I've actually handpicked quite a few in this one. If you guys like this type of stuff, we're going to do another one, and I'll take some suggestions from you guys in my Discord, link in the description. But without further ado, I think we dive into the first show of the video, which is going to be Trapped. Trapped is a really weird one. It took advantage of that game show for kids kind of thing. It's a British as show from 2007, and holy shit, it freaked me out as a kid. It features the host, aka the caretaker, and a group of kids that are called the Unfortunates. There's 6 floors in the tower that they have to progress through, and each floor has a different challenge. Every challenge has a saboteur who must cause them to fail the challenge. Now, there's this sexy purple-lipped old British lady that'll whisper in the saboteur's ear and help them. Well, help is a weird word, isn't it? She's more so just like making fun of these kids and telling them to hurry the fuck up when they have literally no way to. It's mean sometimes, man. But despite this lady giving me weird feelings in my no-no zone, she is essentially there to try and aid the kids in sabotaging the group, because you know they're kids and they're dumb and they don't know what they're doing. After each challenge, the kids vote on who they think the saboteur is, and whoever gets voted the most gets trapped on the floor while the others leave, unless the saboteur fails and instead they get trapped. And specifically, this rule is so funny to me. If you've ever played Among Us, not with your friends but with complete strangers, aka 8-year-olds, you know that it's so easy to just point at a random player and be like, oh, Blue is the imposter, and they're 8, so they're just gonna believe you and vote that guy out. This exact tactic happens literally twice in the first episode. It's literally just gaslighting, and because they're kids, they're just gonna believe you. Now, these challenges do vary. Literally just in the first episode, we got sucking up some white balls while avoiding the green ones. This one is super easy for the saboteur. There's a true or false trivia. If you get 3 right, you pass, and if you get 3 wrong, you fail. Now, this is a group activity, so the entire objective of the saboteur is to basically just convince the group that, oh no, this is the answer, not this. This is so hard for the saboteur to do without looking guilty as I felt so bad watching this because they would give the most obvious question ever that all the kids are like, oh, it's definitely, there's no way it's the other one. And then they've got the fucking voice in their ear going, tell them it's the other one. You don't have any time. There's another challenge where you put your hand in a wall of holes and you have to pick the wrong hole between 3 holes 3 different times to get bitten by a snake. I used to think this was real as a kid and I was horrified. This was not too hard for the saboteur. You can just chalk it up to complete luck. Obviously, the saboteur knows which hole is the bad one, so they can't be the one to give the bad hole every time. This lucky got it 3 times in a row because the other players were suggesting the wrong holes. And possibly the most difficult one is the lights game. There's 8 different lights on the floor. 3 players hide in coffins, and the saboteur, while they're all hiding, has 3 seconds to come out, turn the lights off, and after the 3 seconds get back into their coffin, and then they all come out of their coffin to turn the lights back on and then get back into their coffin, so on and so forth. If after 90 seconds there's any lights that are still off, then they lose. This is so hard for the saboteur. I mean, the entire objective really is just turn off lights in front of everyone's coffins except for one person that everyone's going to think is that guy. And that's exactly the tactic that is used in this episode, and it works. But 3 seconds is not enough time. Holy shit. I was stressing just watching. And the final challenge is literally just a trivia match about the things that happened in the tower, and whoever wins that wins the whole thing. It's an alright way to end it, I guess. The challenges in this game are either the easiest thing ever or complete bullshit. Also, the winner of this episode not once was saboteur, not once once had an opinion on anything. Not once was even suspected of being a saboteur. I forgot he was even there. I honestly feel so bad for this girl because she deserved the win. She was working for it. I'm sure this kid is probably the same age as me at this point, so you don't deserve it. The vibe of the show is pretty good. It's just a horror game show for kids. They've got this weird ninja dude that shows off how the game's meant to work with the kids. I forgot about him completely. I don't know why he's there. He kind of looks like the guy from Prank Patrol for some reason. I think it's the hair. It's definitely the hair. That was such like a 2000s look. Also, we need to talk about this caretaker. He has the most British humor of all time. It's sort of like that drunk uncle, like, you know that he's not good for the family and no one really wants him to be there, but you hang out with him because he just says some out-of-pocket shit. That's exactly who the caretaker is. Also, do you see what I mean by the lips? Come on now. They had to know what they were doing. I need to know whose lips that... Actually, you know what? Don't show me. I think I know, and I don't want to. So let's just leave it. But since we're on the topic of horror and things that are kind of creepy and gross and weird, why not talk about our next show, Grizzly Tales for Gruesome Kids? Holy shit, this should not have been airing for kids alone. We're only going to be looking at like the first 2 episodes, but I have memories of there being way worse episodes than these 2. The stop motion animation in the introduction and the exit is so cool. Like, unironically, the stop motion is really unique. It's really well done, and I just love the vibe of it. But also, nightmare fuel. Holy shit. The creepy old man in this fucking show unironically gave me nightmares as a kid. I'm not even joking. Scared the fuck out of me. I also don't like how this kid at the start of every episode, he's eating some bullshit. He's either reaching his hand in and eating a spider, which, or like a cockroach or some other bullshit every episode. I'm not a fan. But just learn at some point that there's not popcorn in that popcorn bucket. This is another show that is British as f***. It started in 2000, and you can definitely tell by the quality of the show. The actual show part is a 2D animation, and it's very crude, and it feels a lot older than it is. And that kind of works in its favor. I feel like if the animation on this was any better, I don't think they'd be able to show this stuff on TV. The entire premise of this show is shitty kids doing shitty things, then getting karma, aka teaching kids lessons about consequences and not being fucking assholes. So let's go through 2 of the examples. Example 1. Kids bully a caretaker and lie, telling their parents the caretaker abused them and get them fired. So they get a new caretaker, which is a snake. Okay. They fucking bully the shit out of this snake nanny and cause her to quit. What? Then they do the same thing with their next nanny, which is a spider. Gross, deserved, f that spider. And then, of course, they send a crocodile nanny. Yeah, the crocodile nanny fucking eats the kids and turns them into eggs. Oh, but it doesn't end there. The parents boil the fucking eggs that they just turned into, and then they pop out of the eggs? Fucking excuse me? And then it turns out that the original nanny from the start was behind this the whole time, and she's back as their nanny, and so it implies that she's gonna fucking torture these kids. If that's not weird enough, let's get into episode 2. It follows Timothy. He's been a little picky eater, and he refuses to eat his mother's food. He's been a little fuckstick and screaming like a little baby about it, so rightfully everyone in the house is pretty annoyed at this guy. A random sound of a shadow man breaks into the house, freaking everybody out. The parents just right off, they leave Timothy completely alone to investigate the sound. Great idea. Yeah, you're getting broken into, let's leave the kid alone. Makes sense. Timothy gets attacked by the shadow man, who apparently is some mythical famous spaghetti man that turns kids into spaghetti that refuse to eat their parents' food. This is according to the parents. Excuse me? You want to fucking elaborate on that, please? Well, no, it doesn't matter. Timothy doesn't believe them. Of course not. Who would believe their parents about the spaghetti man? The next day, Timothy, again, is refusing to eat. So we just punch him in the head. And then he gets fucking kidnapped by the shadow man and then wakes up in a factory and turned into fucking lasagna. If you look in the background, you can also see the kids from the last episode. So, I mean, I wonder what kind of pasta they'll get turned into. Who knows? Oh, and by the way, the very end of this episode, yeah, Timothy's parents are eating lasagna. I wonder what that could possibly imply. I'm sure it has nothing to do with this episode. Do you see what I mean? By, like, it looks innocent enough, and sure, it's trying to send a message. Message received, man. Holy shit. This is something that I used to watch actually quite a lot, and I don't know if my parents knew what was actually happening in this show, but holy f***. I know a lot of people, including myself, love the Goosebumps thing. That's like the pinnacle of kids' horror. that. Grizzly Tales, that's where the true kids horror is. You want to scare your kids shitless into behaving? This is the show. It's not even that it's like creepy and weird. The concepts themselves. Who the came up with the spaghetti man? Hi, have you noticed anything different about this video? That's right, it's censored. I have to censor my videos because YouTube, no, they don't like that. They don't like the swears. So if you want the uncensored version, I'm starting a little Patreon. It's super cheap. It's like $2 a month to get the uncensored videos. I'm also going to be uploading 2 unique videos over there as well. It's just going to be me playing a backlog of my games, maybe some bloopers from my recording because I'm stupid, and also playing games that you guys recommend. That's all, link in the description, go check it out. Back to the video. Stormhawks, have you heard of it? I didn't before this video. I learned about it through my roommate. In the making of this video, we actually sat down with my girlfriend and my roommates, and we watched all these together, and one of my roommates recommended Stormhawks. I do think I remember seeing like some still images of this as a kid, but I never once watched it. But I'm including it both for him and anyone else out there that knows what the this is. We ended up watching like an hour of this show, and it was interesting. It's got super choppy and sharp, like amateurish looking 3D animation, but the animation itself is actually like pretty good quality. It's a Canadian show from 2007, and the band of characters we have here are so classic. You got the cocky, cool main character, then you got the also cocky, cool main character's best friend, the absolute over-the-top edgelord, the weird, wacky rat creature that's the comic relief and probably the merchandising gold, the token smart girl who's always pulling the boys in line, and the big, dumb, strong character that's super dumb and goofy and lovable. The design of this entire show really feels like something out of Wizard 101 or Adventure Quest 3D. It very much has like an early 2000s video game art style. I don't know how better to explain it. And oh my god, this villain group is the most edgelord emo 2000s villain group I've seen in so long. They are being led by this absolutely beautiful dummy mommy emo girl, but yeah, I mean this I get it. I'm sure this was a lot of teenage boys awakening. Mine personally was Gwen from Total Drama Island, but you know, we all start somewhere. The plot, from what I can tell, is a group of kids want to be Stormhawks, which are essentially just like the military, but are too young and naive. Villains attack the beacon, and the real Stormhawks / Sky Knights fail, so the kids have to step up to the challenge and save the world to prove that they can be Sky Knights. Because yeah, pretty much every other character in this show, when they show up, are like, oh hell yeah, it's the Stormhawk. Oh wait, no, it's just dumb kids. Get the f out of here. The show's fine. The premise is super simple, as you'd expect from a kid's show. It's something we haven't seen a billion times before, but this was from the era where those cliches weren't cliches, so you can't really make fun of it that much. The animation is uncanny as f, and I know that there's other shows that look exactly like this. I'm assuming they're from the same creators. It was difficult to watch at times. I ended up halfway through just half watching this while I was cooking. It didn't keep my attention that much. Who would have guessed? I could definitely see the appeal though. Great fucking show for kids. But I'm sure there's a bunch of you out there that remember this. If you do, drop a comment, because I can't assume that many people remember this, right? But I have one that I think most of you watching will remember. That's right, they're in the thumbnail of this video. Spliced. The reason I assume most of you are here. Let's talk about that. Spliced was one of my all-time favorite kids shows growing up, and I didn't know that this was like a nostalgic, unknown memory for a lot of people, because I remember this shit. How could you possibly forget the greatest opening song of all time? Pacific, there's a mixed up group of creatures who are really quite horrific. I think this one definitely shaped me as a kid, so let's talk about this real quick. It's another Canadian show from 2009. Yeah, speaking of the opening, I used to hum this so often that my mum fucking hated this show. The general premise is that there's these genetic mutated freaks. Basically, 2 animals have been spliced together to create these things, and they live crazy lives on an island. These characters range from something like Entree, who's a mix of a cow and a chicken. He's the typical dumb, crazy, wacky one of the two. You've got Perry, a mix of a squirrel and a squid, and he's the kind-hearted, more sensible but still wacky duologist. Two Legs Joe, he's a two-legged rhino, aka just a grumpy old man. You got Princess Pony Ape Hands. She's a mix of a pony and a gorilla. She's the super strong girly character that constantly underestimates her own strength. A recipe for comedy, honestly. You got Patricia, who's just a straight-up platypus. I mean, they're pretty weird already. You don't really need to mutate a platypus. They're they're fucking wrong. She's basically just the smart researcher type. Then you got Mr. Smarty Smarts, one of my favorite characters. He's a mix of a dolphin and a chimp. He's like meant to be the evil villain who takes over the island with his companion Octocat, who... That's pretty self-explanatory. It's an octopus and a cat. He's the type of villain that he wants to be evil, but he's too silly to be evil, honestly. There's a bunch of others too, but those are really the main ones. And the show is honestly very reminiscent of something like Regular Show to me. I mean, it's literally just a bunch of friends going on crazy hijinks that result in even crazier hijinks. Like in episode 1, the main two find a random bowling alley on the island, which summons a race of bowling pin alien overlords to come down and enslave the gang, forcing them to revolt against them with their bowling skills. This sounds like a plot exactly out of Regular Show. Are you kidding me? Episode 2 is a little more tame, but it definitely has that same vibe. Perry becomes overly attached to Entree, constantly wanting to hang out, and so to get his payback, Entree splices them together so he has no arms or legs and is attached to his back like a tumor. And he's basically getting tortured this entire day and begging to be unspliced. It's kind of horrifying at times. It turns out at the end that they weren't even actually spliced together and he was just taped to his back, and you know, it's a lesson of needing distance in a friendship. But you can see the resemblance to Regular Show, right? I'm not crazy. This is a fantastic show, and the fact that it's anything like this gem is a plus. If anything though, Regular Show is like Spliced. Also, this show only has 24 episodes. I swear I remember this having way more. 24 is crazy. I would be okay with them bringing this back. I mean, come on. Out of all the shows so far, this one genuinely had me giggling out loud, which for these older kid shows, that doesn't happen. This one holds up. It's still funny. Go watch it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about possibly the biggest kids show in this video, Pingu. I wouldn't consider this necessarily a unknown one at all, but it's still weird. It started in 1990 from Switzerland. Didn't know that. And obviously it's a clay stop motion show. We're all familiar with it. And they have some pretty weird scenes, like Pingu fucking dethroning a fish. That was like one of the first things that I saw as a kid. I was hooked right away. Also, a completely random fact before we really get into it. David Hasselhoff made a song called the Pingu Dance, featuring Pingu and the Pingu language, Penguinese. Penguinese. That, okay. This was Simlish before Simlish, I guess. I guess David Hasselhoff just has an affinity for kids things. I respect it. It's wild because I only really knew David Hasselhoff from the SpongeBob movie. If you aren't aware of what Pingu is, okay, let's figure that out for you real quick. It's a stop motion kids show following Pingu, a little penguin going on a sort of like a coming of age show. There's not really an overall story or premise. It's more so just following Pingu as he goes through life and learns little lessons. One of the most memorable episodes to me was an episode about fishing holes and learning to share instead of being greedy. Obviously, they don't speak the real English or any fucking language for that matter. Like I said, they speak what is it called again? Penguinese? So, most of the storytelling is visualized. It's a show don't tell kind of story. Yes, the stop motion can be uncanny as shit sometimes, but it's definitely charming. And obviously it holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts. Obviously Pingu is massively successful. It started in Switzerland, went over to the UK, it was really popular in Japan for some reason, and it's been so popular around the world that it's been remade by Mattel. Is the remake good? I'm not sure. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm gonna stick with the original. All I remember is hating the little penguin. That little fucking asshole. It's got 156 episodes. Holy shit. I did not know it had that many. Even the Pingu YouTube channel has 7 million subscribers. Holy shit. I think if you didn't grow up watching Pingu, you still know what it is. Which is why I'm not going to harp on too much about the actual show itself. I just had some interesting facts to talk about, really. And I wanted to bring it up for the sake of bringing it up because I know that if I didn't, I would have had 1,000 comments saying, what about Pingu? Yes, I know about Pingu. Everyone knows about Pingu. Unfortunately, that's all I've got for the video. We've gone through 5 shows. I have a lot more that I want to go through. For example, Almost Naked Animals. Excuse me. So if this is something that you guys actually want to see more of, let me know. I have a lot more shows that I want to cover. Like I said before, go to my Discord, recommend more shows for me to watch. I have a bunch of these series that I want to do. I'm going to be covering really bad movies as well, specifically bad horror movies. There are so many. Did you know that there's 9 Evil Bong movies? Yep, obviously don't fret, I'm going to be sticking with the game content as well, but yes, we're going to be branching out to movies, shows, everything like that. So anything and everything is on the cards. Go to my Discord, recommend it, leave a comment, do whatever the you gotta do. Obviously, if you enjoyed, like, subscribe for more. Only like 2% of you really are subbed. The rest of you are just kind of watch. I know there's some of you that are watching multiple of my videos and aren't subscribing. Rude. Just subscribe. And if you're watching this on the toilet, double flush. Sometimes they float back up. I have a lot of experience with that. I don't know why the plumbing here kind of sucks, but it does. It's bad. Please check out the Patreon. You can make fun of me for making one all you want, but it's a nice way to support the channel. This is the part of the video where all the Patreons will show up. I obviously don't have any at the moment, so this is awkward. This is very, see, this is very, fill this up, fill this area up with names for me, please. That's all for the video, please. Go watch my other ones. There's other, I have other video. I don't know how to end video still. Me. Bye. Bye. Just leave, just go. You know what, don't even subscribe.